Sorry about that.
I love that we're doing this at 9:30 at night. The
I'm
day it's due. And I'm like, like it's gonna be fine. It's just funny. We're like, send.
Work was horrible today. I'm just glad that I'm here doing this instead.
I'm just gonna share my Pinterest link to the Discord, and you can just take the images from it and
Okay,
save it to a different Pinterest board of shared.
got
I'm
it.
gonna do the same thing.
That's fine. Yeah, however you guys want to get those images to me, I will get those into a Pinterest altogether and turn it in.
If you see my Pinterest profile picture when you visit mine, just ignore it because it's an old photo. So
That's really funny. Oh, okay, will do. I'll make note.
did you guys do um the training manual stuff?
No.
Like the chapter 10.
Yeah.
I did everything but the hammer because I was like, you know what? No, I'm good. So
Yeah, I did everything, but the squeeze bottle, like at the end, I was just like, I can't wrap the picture, so whatever, turn it in.
oh, I just colored it yellow, and I didn't even make my own cap. I just used the preset cap,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
just moved it down in gumball, and I was like,
yeah.
mustard. So, oh well.
I'm like trying to rush through it right now. Um, I'm on the revolve one with like the vase or whatever.
The one after the canoe?
After the canoe, yeah.
Yeah, the canoe
I
is fun.
yeah, I moved the control points before and then revolved it because I couldn't figure out how to move the control points after it revolved because it wouldn't like edit the shape. But
Honestly, I'm like, well, I don't know if I should say it on the Zoom, but like, I don't know. I feel like maybe I might not do all of this one.
I gave up already. um, I got to the same one that you were on actually. I got to revolve surfaces right before or right after the canoe.
What I see, one of the other times is since there's like so much extra credit offered, I like this was honestly like the second one we did that had like 19 like things to do or whatever. I only did half of them, and then I just went to like the next extra credit thing and just like got my 5 points there.
Smart.
That's a good idea.
all the extra credits are like attending the Fab Lab workshop, right?
Yeah.
Most of them.
Some of them are like different though, and I wish because there was one like last week, that it was literally just like making like origami or something.
I know there was another one, a really easy one that I also definitely should have done where we just like turned in pictures of our test cuts.
Yeah.
That.
I feel like I need to look more into like which ones are actually happening to see what are the easy ones to go to.
What else are we supposed to be talking about today?
Just I have the thing up. Finalized topic, new Pinterest board, meeting, group names. So,
Group names?
it's just like make sure you put your names of everybody. So I don't know. So yeah, I guess we could. I don't know. We've kind of done everything already, so
Yeah.
could watch the duck video for the STL file.
Yeah, we could do that.
Sure. Would anyone be willing to share their screen? I would, but it's, as always, very cluttered and very messy.
I'm like doing my training manual stuff at the same time right now.
That's valid.
Yeah, I don't know how to do the duck. I'm like so frustrated right now. I've been troubleshooting for over an hour.
Oh.
I can't.
Wait, what's going on with like your duck?
there's like naked edges, and I fixed most of them, but it's like there's one edge that just doesn't want to fix, so I'm just dying.
I know, well, for like the eyes, I was having an issue on it. And I joined them first. I didn't like group them. I joined them and then did the cap stuff, but I'm not sure if that would help or not.
Yeah, I tried that. I don't even know what it's doing. Like, it's just like 2 dots that say that it's a naked edge, and I don't know how to fix that.
Are they the points that we made when we were making it?
I don't know. I don't think they are.
Because I had like a couple points left over on mine, and I just deleted them because I didn't think like we really needed to use them anymore. Which that could come back and bite me if we do need to use them again. But I just
The same thing about the duck. Here we are.
I kind of like didn't do the duck all the way. I didn't give it eyes, and I just had the 2 spheres, and I was like, beak, tail, connect, and so, I mean, my STL file was like, just join them, and it was good. So I'm kind of like, I don't really know.
Maybe I should just like redo my duck file, because this has been taking me too long to fix.
Like, just start over.
Yeah, honestly.
The curves for the box project got pushed back again, correct?
Yeah, they did.
Just double checking. Ignore my neighbors.
I wonder what went like so wrong with like laser cutters. They couldn't fix them for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Maybe some guy came in and like stole all the lasers in the laser cutter.
What should be someone from this class?
But
It's one of us. We did it.
Don't say that. You're gonna get us put on the fucking watch list or something.
We didn't do it, Miss Copley, I promise. I haven't been on campus in a year. I have the duck video open.
the duck walked up to the lemonade stand and said to the man,
I haven't heard that song in a millennia.
Yeah, I think we could just watch the duck
yeah,
video.
let's just watch it. I'm like halfway through, and then I just don't know what to do now.
I was able to pull it up. Well, I mean, I pulled up the assignment page and pulling up the demo video right now. Okay. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hi, everyone.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Sick.
I'm going to go over the 3D printing constraints for designing your models so that they're ready for printing. Not all objects designed in a CAD software are suitable for printing. When designing for this process, it's important to keep a few basic guidelines in mind. The first and the most basic is the object should be a closed, watertight solid. Let's take a look at what that means. I'm going to open one of your classmates' duck files. And for this assignment, you all should open your duck files as well. And we're going to set them up as solid objects ready for printing. This is Megan's rubber duck. I'm gonna hide this light so it's out of our way. All right. So if you look at this duck, you'll notice that it's in a couple of pieces. And if I select everything, so I'm just gonna select all. The thing that you're gonna check to see if it's a closed, watertight solid is show edges. Now what you're really looking for is this second option here, naked edges. So this object has 8 naked edges in total. I'm gonna make the perspective the largest view here and then go into ghosted so I can easily see. So the magenta, it's set up by default to be in magenta. You could change it to whatever you want to show the edge color. And do make sure where it says show here that you just have naked edges select, because if you have all edges, it's going to show you everything and it'll get confusing. And non-manifold edges, you probably won't have any of those for your rubber duck, but that is something to check for on models you design for yourselves. Naked edges is the main one here. So you can see it's this edge, and then the beak edge. And that looks like it. So for this particular model, I know that these are two separate, and close that for now. I know that these are two separate pieces. So a naked edge is just basically anything that is just a surface that's not connected. So if I move the beak out of the way and look in there, this surface here is not 3D printable. It does not have a defined real world thickness. It's just a single non-specified surface with a hole in it. So I am going to join these together to start with, because these meet perfectly. I know they did because we split them in the exercise. So I'm going to join them. And now if I just select that object and show edges, there are no naked edges on this object now. So, but the eyes still have naked edges. So let's go ahead and hide the rubber duck and just look at the eyes. So for these, I can probably, I think they're grouped. I'm gonna see if I can cap this. All right. So cap is a nice command. I'll show you what that did there. It's a little bit hard to see because it's a really thin piece. I'm gonna undo the cap and I'll hide this part of the eye here so that you can just see this disc. So you see here, it's just a surface. There is no thickness to it. There's nothing that the 3D printer could print. There's no definition in 3 axes. For the 3D printer to print something, there has to be a specific distance in X, Y, and Z. This one just has information in 2 dimensions. So I'm going to type in cap. A little hard to see, but can you see how that created a solid there? That'll work if you have closed planar edges, meaning that they're not wavy, or if they're just like if the edge could, if from a certain perspective the edge could be viewed as a straight line, then you'll be able to cap it. So I'm going to do that for this one too. Ungroup them, cap. I'm going to cap this. It's a little easier to see on this. Let's do that again. It's going to be a lot easier to see if we do. Let's actually do shaded. Go faster. Cap. Show everything that was hidden, and I know I still need to cap this one. All right, so now everything is separate solid pieces. The final step is something called Boolean union. It's basically doing a bunch of different things in one command. So if we look at this in a ghosted view, you see that there is an intersection here between these 2 solids. So what is going to happen when I do Boolean union is it's going to use this solid to cut this solid, and this solid to cut this solid, delete all the information in between and join them together. So for fun here, let's just look at the eyes again because it's a little bit simpler to see. Just to help you really understand Boolean union, I'm going to show you how you would do it step by step, not using that command, using a series of other commands, and then I'll show you how much faster it is with Boolean union. But this process that I'm going to show you first is helpful because sometimes the geometry doesn't line up perfectly and the Boolean union doesn't work and you have to go in and do a few more things yourself. So I'm going to hide this for now. Actually, let's see if these intersect to do this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in split. I'm going to use this as the cutting object. All right, that worked. And now I'm going to split this one with this. So if I select these two outer portions and then, sorry, invert the selection there, can you see how those two faces, those are the two faces dividing, you know, keeping those objects apart right now. So I'm going to delete those. And if you checked it at this point, we've got two naked edges there. So I'm going to join those naked edges together. And now it's a solid object. There's no intersection. If I do show edges, there's no naked edges. All right, so let's go back a few steps. Here, we can just do it on the other eye. Now let's look at Boolean union. I'm going to select these. Actually, I won't select them so you can see all of the prompts. I don't want to do any shortcuts so you know for sure what's going on. So it's going to be under the solid menu, and then it's going to be union. And it's going to say select the surfaces or poly surfaces to union. So I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to select this one. Enter. And you see I got the same thing. So Rhino did the splitting, the trimming, and then they're joining for me automatically. But you know, if you get an error that says that the Boolean union failed, I have had to do this many times. Sometimes, you know, even if your objects line up perfectly, there's just something weird about the geometry and it doesn't want to split them automatically and join them back together. And you can go through those steps that I showed you using one object to split the other, and then reversing it using the other object to split the first, and then joining and deleting the intersections and then joining them back together. Now we're going to bring the rubber duck back, and now I'm just going to do Boolean union for everything. See what happens. All right, so now to show edges. There are no naked edges. This rubber duck is ready for 3D printing. So I'm going to select the duck. Actually, first I'm going to see what units am I going to set this file up in. All right, so we're in millimeters. And the model is in millimeters, so let's see about how many millimeters it is. So that's really little. This duck is only like 25 millimeters. That's just important to know, assuming that you modeled in the units that you meant to. We're going to upload this to Shapeways in a minute, and it's important to know what units you were modeling in. So from now, you're going to export as an STL, which is the most common file type for 3D printing. STL originally stood for stereolithography apparatus, which is one of the first types of 3D printers. It's called an SLA printer now, but it used to be the most common type of 3D printing process, and STL was named for that process. And there has been a recent update that most people now call it standard triangulation language and say it's an acronym for that, because it does convert this NURBS model into a triangulated mesh, which you'll see in a minute. So under File, I'm going to go Export Selected. And then it's a long list of file export options, and you're going to do here. Now this one still says stereolithography. All right, so I'm just gonna save it as duck, save it to the desktop. The default tolerance is perfectly fine. I wanna do binary. All right, it is saved. So now let's import that duck just so that you can see the difference. So this duck is a mesh now. And you can see it has been broken up into this triangulated surface. And that is the type of file necessary for 3D printing. Okay, so now we're gonna go to Shapeways. Shapeways is an online 3D printing service bureau. I just wanted to show you guys because I know, not everybody is gonna have access to 3D printers necessarily even after this class. A lot of you hopefully still will, but even whenever you graduate, those people in programs that have good access to this kind of technology, once you graduate, you might lose access. And it's nice to know other options. So if you go to Shapeways, you can make an account. Once you have your account made, if you go to this icon here, and then you're gonna go to upload. And before you upload your file, you're gonna wanna select the correct units, the units that you modeled it in, very important. And then I'm gonna choose the duck. And there it is. The duck is about 1 inch, I think. Oh wow, it's really tiny. 1.65 centimeters. What is that? Centimeters to inches. So it's 0.64 of an inch. It's a little tiny duck. But you look at all these options that you have for 3D printing, you guys should go through and just see what's out there. So there's some of this stuff, like for example, where you see these metals like brass, bronze, gold-plated brass, copper. It's going to actually be 3D printed in a wax that's castable, and then Shapeways will cast it in that material for you. So if you wanted to make a little tiny pendant from your duck, you could get it in gold for $1,297. You can get it in copper for $57, silver for $82. You can do it in platinum. The more affordable options, the most common is going to be this one that says versatile plastic. Now this is a nylon that's dyeable. So I showed you guys that at the beginning of the semester. If you get it white, you can dye it yourself, and this is Shapeways dyeing it for you, and they do charge a pretty decent premium for dyeing it for you, but it's very easy to dye yourself. And then if you go back to just Shapeways, they have a whole list of their materials. And I'd encourage you to look through this because this is going to have things that you definitely wouldn't even have access to at ASU. So look through all of these interesting materials, and they have great design guidelines for each material, exactly how you need to design your file to have the best success in each one. And then everything else that you're going to need to know is here. So this is also taken from Shapeways. This is for their sandstone material. So it's a little bit of a more conservative estimate because that material is more brittle than what we're going to be using. But if you use these guidelines, then you'll definitely get a successful print on the FDM printers. So for the wall thickness, you're going to want a minimum supported wall thickness of 2 millimeters. Supported means like, it's got in the image there if it was a wall with other walls touching it on all sides. Unsupported is a wall that doesn't have, it's not necessarily even a wall, just a feature that isn't connected on all sides. wires, and again, you have to think of these, it's not just walls and wires, they're using these as general terms. So walls, anything that's going to be sort of long and supporting, and a wire is going to be like a more thin element. And then surface details. So a good example for this embossing versus engraving, if you did text on an object, in the minimum embossed detail would be how much the text needs to be extruded above the base surface, and the minimum engraved detail would be how much the text needs to be cut into the base surface to actually be able to see that detail well enough once it's printed. This particular process that we're going to be using in the Fab Lab, you can do interlocking parts. You could print gears, other mechanical things, joints all in one piece, because we're using a dissolvable support material. Anybody has interest in that and would like to ask more questions, let me know. I've done some mechanical parts in 3D printers before. It's a lot of fun. That's it, guys. For this assignment, you're just going to submit screenshots of your duck uploaded to Shapeways, and then submit your watertight.
We get the gist.
I just finished the duck and I just submitted it. Woohoo!
Sick! You did that. Congrats. We still have like 4 or 5 minutes before we get to stop recording.
I spent that time continuing to work on my training manual stuff.
I spent that time thinking about how great my shower after this is going to be.
I watch TikTok. My room's green. It's very strange.
Like the actual walls or just the lighting?
No, like my room's not actually green, but in the screen my room's green, and I don't know why. It's really annoying.
You have something green like close to your laptop.
My pillows are green.
Oh, can we see them?
That didn't help. Pillows.
That might be why.
Just put bright brown pillows everywhere then. Didn't do anything. Oh well.
How long have we been recording?
A little under 30 minutes. We still have like 3 or 4 to go. I want to say we started at 26. Could be wrong.
What are y'all gonna do for Halloween?
Good question.
I have no clue, honestly, yet. I don't even have a costume.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you guys know what you want to be yet?
Yes. I am going to be Klaus from the Umbrella Academy.
I've seen it, but I know who that character is, and I think that'll be a great costume.
It's gonna be fun.
Are you making it yourself, or are you just gonna like order a pre-made one?
Oh, I have like an army jacket that I ripped the sleeves off of. I have like everything. I'm gonna do the makeup. I have this like ink stuff that stays and doesn't smudge everywhere to write things. So, yep, fun.
Nice. Anyone else know what they want to be while we're in that?
Oh, for the Pinterest, are we like submitting our last pins, or I don't know.
You can.
I mean, I could just look up random pictures and send it.
I mean, it's honestly whatever you think like would be a good reference photo for what we're going for. We talked about it a lot last week, just like geometric themes, lots of playing with gravity, lots of nature and rooms and stuff like that. Whatever you think fits with it, just send it to the Discord and I'm gonna mash it all together and turn it in. And if that includes pictures from last week's Pinterest, go ahead.
It's like, so all of us basically submit 5 photos, or all of us submit 20 photos?
Altogether, we're supposed to submit 20 photos, meaning each of us needs to submit 5.
Okay. I'll just make a random Pinterest board, I guess.
think on the link that I sent you, I have 5 different sections with 3 pictures or 4 pictures of each, so you can just choose one picture from each section. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's kind of the same on mine. Like you can tell, like what are like the sections, so you can just like choose whichever ones. I feel like they all kind of fit our stuff. So.
And then, when we're actually designing things and doing sketches and stuff, we can pull up whatever reference photos we want. This is just for the actual assignment to turn in.
Yeah.
Well, we have hit the time. We're at 30 minutes. It has been great seeing all of you. See you a week from now.
Yes.
See ya.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Good night.